Hey everyone, VEDA number 8 now, and today I want to talk about two different things. The first thing being my opinions and kind of mini review on the new Beauty and the Beast movie, the remake, and well, as if it's going to be the original, and also what I think these Disney movies should be trying to be, and what I think a lot of people expect and want them to be, in spite of what they are. But first we'll start off with Beauty and the Beast. Now I saw Beauty and the Beast, I think about a week ago, yeah, and my opinion of it is pretty good. But there's some problems I'll mention. Now overall I think I'd give the movie, I know, like, getting back into scores that I talked about before, this may seem a bit hypocritical or whatever, but I think about a 7 out of 10 is what I'd give it. And I want to say that because that is very much in my mind a depreciative score, like a starting from 10. And I feel like that's okay in this case because it is a remake, where the movie it's remaking was a 9 or a 10, both in its day and now. This is definitely not a movie where it's trying to be something unto itself, and yet it's trying to depart from the original quite a bit. So, which I find a bit odd. But, yeah, so let's get into the movie review proper. What did I like, what didn't I like? First thing that hit me in the opening, it was interesting that they lengthened it a bit. You know, they gave a bit more backstory. They made damn sure that the Beast wasn't 10 when he was cursed. So I was like, they're just like, okay, we're not getting into that can of worms this time. But yeah, so the opening, that was all cool. Then we got to the opening song, Bonjour. And everyone in that scene was just so dead when I watched it. It was like, give everyone a can of Red Bull before you do another take. I mean, Jesus. They were like, the worst bit was when these two characters were just like, Bonjour, good day, how is your family? Bonjour, good day, how is your wife? And it's just like, there was just no expression, they were just pleasantly smiling. Whereas in, like, the original, the idea of that song was just like this small town sort of chaos which happened in the mornings when people are trying to do something, which ironically in both versions kind of goes across what Belle's saying about how nothing happens, whereas, like, you know, people are still going about their lives. But I get what she means. But yeah, everyone's just so dead in that opening scene, and it's not just then, it's like any point where anything happens. I mean, by comparison, even Gaston is a bit dead, but I give that one a pass for reasons I'll talk about later. Yeah, so opening wasn't the best. Emma Watson's singing didn't bother me too much, didn't wow me too much, auto-tuned to crap, but whatever. Emma Watson's portrayal of the character, very good. I liked that. I liked some of the things she changed. As again, it kind of fell off a bit in some of the songs, but yeah. Going through the rest of the movie, it's a bit darker than the other one. I thought that was alright. The Beast, so just Beauty and the Beast. The Beast, I thought, was a lot better in this movie in terms of a character than it was in the original. However, strangely, the original seemed to have a more graspable character. Like, he did relatively little and let you seem to understand a lot more about him. Whereas this Beast was a lot more grounded. It was a lot more relatable. You could understand what he did a lot better than what you could in the original. Sometimes to the detriment of the film. In fact, once to the detriment of the film. And there's a very standout moment. In the original, you know, Belle's curious about what's in the West Wing. even though, you know, she really shouldn't be. That's, I think, a point which isn't very well portrayed in either of them. Just like her curiosity killing the cat, but... So she goes to see what's in the West Wing. In the original, she gets there, and the Beast finds her looking at the rose, and he is immediately like, "What the fuck, bitch?" He's just like, "What the hell did you do? Get the hell out!" He's just he's just like screaming and like at her, and she gets scared and she runs. In this version, he goes, "What did you do to it? Do you know what you could have done? Get out." And he doesn't do it as shouty as he did in the original. And for some reason, this triggers Belle. Like nothing else did, but that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and that just seemed unrealistic. It didn't seem... It felt out of character. It felt like she'd have more resolve than that. And like, if that would have broken the back, then she would have... Well, I guess they did show her trying to escape earlier, but... It just didn't feel like a realistic reaction to me. Just about everything else in the show, you know. Gaston, I thought, was very good. I was so worried about Gaston going into this movie because I love Gaston so much from the original. It's the reason I watch it time and time again. But I felt that they changed him enough. They made him a bit more subdued, changed his character a bit, and still kept, like, the magic drives, like, inside him to, really flesh it out as much as the original did, so that was good. I'm really trying to speed through things I like so I can get to the things I didn't like. I didn't like LeFou. Well, I liked him at the beginning. I did not like the way they changed him from bad guy to good guy at the end. I thought that was just completely unnecessary. Okay, well, let's get mainly to the things I want to talk about. That's what I didn't like about this and what I think Disney should be doing differently. Yeah, I'm trying to tell, like, school a multi-billion-dollar company. But, so, this movie was too long by about a half hour. The original movie was 90 minutes, and it's one of the tighter Disney Renaissance feature films there are, in terms of, it just goes da-da-da, point, conclusion. And that's good. It's a very speedy movie. This one drags. They add so many little things, and then they add entire sequences, and then they slow it down, and like, the beginning is good, but I would have cut out a lot of it to the original. The original, I felt, would perfectly set the scene, and redoing it like that was just the designer of the film showing off, really. There are little... Okay, another moment that's unnecessary, when Belle tells the Beast that, like, you have to help me and get up. It's like, you could have done that in, like, 3 shots. Instead, it took you about a minute. And I know that might seem like going over the top, but there's a lot of other stuff added in the castle, like her trying to run away, and that's good, but it's just not quick enough, and everything is lengthened out. And the biggest example of something unnecessary to the plot that is just kind of shafted in to the movie is like, it's the scene with the traveling book. Now, if you haven't seen the movie, this is where I get into real spoilers. So, after, what point was it after? After the point where the Beast gives her the library. In the original, it goes from the library to, I think it is, something that wasn't there before, into getting rid of the ball, into the ball, into, and then that continues from, you know, saving the dad, to the assault on the castle, to the conclusion, to the climax, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's very smooth. Here here you see the book scene, you see the song, you're expecting that ball. everyone who knows the original is expecting the ball to come in after, and for it to just go on that roller coaster ride into the climax. It's smooth, it's effective. Here, they show that the Beast has this magic traveling book that allows him to travel to any place in the world. And it shows this plot reveal that Belle's mother was killed by plague, the same as the Beast. And I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to bring him closer, which is something that's needed by the original movie. They don't get closer, but it goes on so long to a movie that's already dragging. I just feel it's so unnecessary. So what I'm planning to do is, when I get this movie on Blu-ray eventually, I'm going to shove it in my editing software, and I'm probably going to cut out. I've got an idea of which points I'm going to cut out to. I'm going to cut it out to about 90 minutes, and I think make it a better movie. Another thing I really have gripe with is Mrs. Potts. First of all, they cast Nanny McPhee, like the actress who played Nanny McPhee, as Mrs. Potts. And they cast a woman as the witch who looks extremely like her. Why did you not switch those two actresses? We could have had headcanon that Nanny McPhee was behind Beauty and the Beast the whole time. But no, okay. But she says everything about 30% slower than she should. All of her singing bits, Taylor's Oldest Time. Actually, Taylor's Oldest Time doesn't get off that bad. But especially Be Our Guest, they put these little, like dance segments in, and she sings so slow, and like the last few lines at the end, like she's just so slow. I don't know why, and it ruins all of these sequences, which brings me on to what I think these Disney movies should be and what we're all expecting them to be. And it's a term that I first heard when I was watching a documentary about the last Monty Python show and about how their act evolves. And that was that, but near the end of their first stint of popularity, no one laughed at their shows, but they still loved them. Because these are comedy acts, you expect them to be laughing all the way through. What would happen is, they'd come out the front, they'd announce what the sketch is, like say, I would like to register a complaint, everyone knows it's the parent sketch, huge roar of laughter and applause, and they barely laugh through the rest of it until the very end, and then they roar in laughter again. And that's because they treat it like a rock concert. They just want to see this legendary act again. They want it to be just like they imagine, maybe with the odd nudge nudge wink wink say no more nod to the audience. But you know, changing it up a bit to subvert something. But they just want to see what they like done again, done live. Now, that is what I feel what these movies should be trying to be. They shouldn't be trying to bring it... that's being a bit strong. But they should be trying to tell the original story as it was. Maybe change it up a bit. But every change you make, if that is not in reference to something that came before, is going to be very noticeable. Another example from the Beauty and the Beast movie, the Beast song near the end. I thought that was completely unnecessary. I thought that added nothing. I thought that's something for the soundtrack and that's it. Put it in the credits. I just did not connect with it at all. I thought it was a waste of time. I feel what this movie should have been, they should have kept the attitude all the same. That was the thing that they changed, which was the most. They changed a lot of the attitude. Now, it worked with Gaston, it didn't work with a lot of the rest of the movies. Like I told you, at the beginning everyone is dead. Like they just not doing anything because they're trying to get all these set pieces in. They're trying to rewrite the song, but no, it should, the songs at very most, no, sorry, so the songs at very least, the popular ones, they should be, visually they can change, but they've got to be the same. They've got to, like, I'm sorry, my points run away with me. The biggest example is in Be Your Guest. That is the showstopper of Beauty and the Beast. And it is huge. And it's a very fast-paced song. Here they punctuated one of the faster-paced bits, which was Mrs. Potts' bits. One, they slowed it down. Two, they added this weird dance interlude for about 4 or 5 bars in the middle of it, which broke up the song, which isn't what you want. And then during one of the more memorable bits where the candlestick, Lumiere, instead of going 10 years we've been rusting, he goes, too long we've been rusting, and that's noticeable, that irks you, but then again, with all the theories, it makes sense. Like, all the expanded Disney theories. If you haven't seen, like, the film theory video on, you know, how, he was a 10-year-old child when they, cursed him, then you should watch that. But yeah, so basically these movies, I feel they need to be rock concerts. And the next one I believe is coming up is Pan. Peter Pan. That is one I'm very worried about. That is my favorite all-time Disney movie. And there's a lot you can screw up with that because it's been screwed up a number of times before. I think the only time they've come close to getting it right is Hook. The live-action ones, the Warner Brother ones, the Return to Neverland sequel by Disney, they've all haven't quite managed it. But anyway, at the end of the day, I still did like the movie. I thought it was a good movie. It was too long. It was about a half hour too long, but I did like it. And I'll end you thinking about one thing if you have seen it, okay? And that was, okay, so you have the scene. You have the scene with the harpsichord, okay? Harpsichord shoots out his keys, okay, at the enemies, and his teeth are missing. Okay? So the damage and injury from when they were in furniture form carried back over to human form. Okay? Why didn't Chip have a piece of his skull missing? Okay, that's been VEDA number 8. Leave your opinions on the new Beauty and the Beast movie below, or any of the new Disney remakes. And, yep, that's been VEDA number 8. Here's to 22 more. See ya.